Assalamu alaikum everybody, this is Sam and welcome to a brand new video here on the Sam of Somalia channel. In this video I want to talk about 5 of the biggest mistakes that I made on the Sam of Somalia channel. You know, a lot of you guys know that I took a break from this YouTube channel for about a year, and there are some real mistakes that I think I made before before I actually started creating content, even from the very beginning, right? But then kind of mistakes that I sort of picked up along the way. And for those of you who are thinking of creating YouTube channels or people who are creating podcasts or whatever, I'd just like to share with you some of the biggest mistakes that I made. So let's get into it. So the first and the biggest mistake is actually caring about comments. Usually when we say, oh, don't care about comments, it's really easy to say that to people, but it's actually a bit of a skill to actually develop the ability to just say, jog on. To literally just not care what people think. And it takes a long time actually to build that. It's easy to say, right? Just don't watch YouTube, don't look at YouTube comments, or don't even read the comments, right? It's really easy to say that to people, but it is actually a bit of a skill, right, that you develop, and you need to develop an understanding that most of these people who comment negatively on your channel, they don't care about you, and they have no influence over your success whatsoever. So when Scooby-Doo 1894 comments on my YouTube channel something negative, why do I care about that loser? He's a moron anyway. It's not a specific sorry if there's someone out there with the username Scooby-Doo 1987. Sorry if there is someone out there, but I don't have any actual viewers who have that username. But yeah, so the point is, you need to really not care. And it was a really big mistake that I made, because I kind of took a few negative comments on Twitter or whatever to mean that I wasn't doing a good job, and that just couldn't be further from the truth, right? In fact, anybody who's successful in any trade whatsoever would have haters. If Mother Teresa had a YouTube channel, she even would have had haters, I promise you. So the second biggest mistake that I made here on this YouTube channel was feeling a need to be unbusinessy. When people start taking their YouTube channel more seriously and you are making a living from it, you need to be real about that. Your audience don't resent you for that. They are human beings who need to make money as well. And if you're a human being who puts a lot of time into a YouTube channel, you need to be real about that too, right? There's a big difference between being sincere to doing something for free because you're sincere, and there's a big difference between that and being sincere that you just need to make money, right? That is sincere. If it's your truth that you need to make money from your YouTube channel, you just need to be unapologetic about it. You don't need to come onto the YouTube channel and say, oh, sorry audience, can I have some money? That's not what you do, right? That's not constructive, right? But if you actually do need to make money from your YouTube channel somehow by giving your audience something amazing, own it. Right, own it and own it and acknowledge it, right? And I always kind of felt a need to be unbusinessy. I always felt a need to kind of not be salesy or professional in any way, and that was a huge mistake. My third biggest mistake, I think, here on my YouTube channel was over-judging myself. With a lot of these professions that we're doing now, especially being a YouTuber or an influencer or a podcaster or an Instagrammer or whatever, sometimes, especially if you come from a bit of a working class background like I do, you kind of assume that we always have to have professions that fit very clearly into traditional lines, right? My dad was a mechanic, right? My brother's an architect and my sister's a doctor, right? They are all very specific and old school professions, right? And I always kind of looked at what I was doing on the Sam of Somalia channel, and I was like, what am I doing? What am I an expert in? What is my profession? But actually, your profession can be entertaining people. Your expertise in your profession can be creating interesting conversations with people. Your expertise can be just sharing a different light on an experience. Actually, myself as Sam of Somalia, even from the very beginning, is a lot more effective at educating people in the Somali language than if I were a Somali language teacher. Because I'm documenting the experience of me learning the Somali language. And I always, from really early in building the channel, I always kind of judged myself. I was like, well, Sam, you're not a Somali teacher, so who are you? But actually I was something better. Actually, if I'd just not judged myself, I'd have realised that I was something better than a teacher. I was someone who's taking other people early in their journey of learning the Somali language on that journey with me. A little while ago I heard an interview, Gary Vaynerchuk being interviewed. He's a digital marketer. I won't go into too much who he is or what he does or whatever. But he was being interviewed by another man called Tom Billio, I believe, who also has a podcast. And they were kind of talking about what his superpower is as an entrepreneur. And his biggest superpower is that his ability to not judge himself, right? Like in a time like this where we're having careers that never existed before, and we're doing things that never really existed before, and we're bringing value that never really existed before, you need to be in a position where you just don't judge yourself. You do something, you speak from the heart, you're sincere, and you do something if it works. My fourth biggest mistake on the Sam of Somalia channel, and this is where the channel really went in the wrong direction, I think, at the end of 2018. And the biggest the mistake that I'm talking about is that I stopped learning. You know, like the Sam of Somalia channel, it started really quickly, right? And I was invited onto, you know, some really big platforms like Universal TV, Integration TV, and, you know, and obviously ended up working on Islam channel as well as a host. All because it was exciting and fresh. Like, I'd just been learning so much Somali, right? Like, all of this new knowledge that I'd just learned, it was really fresh. And I kind of got to a point where I just wasn't learning anymore. Like, I got to a point where I'd, like, shared all of the knowledge that I had. You know, like, the key for any person who's an expert in anything is that you keep learning. Like, even some of the people who need to keep on learning the most are teachers themselves, right? Like, people who we kind of assume they already have all the knowledge, right? They are the people who need to keep learning. So if you have a YouTube channel, if you create content, if you speak on any topic, you need to put time aside for learning. And something that you might not be aware of is the fact that, you know, learning is a really fast way to improve your life in lots of ways. And let me kind of give you some context to that. So let's say, for example, somebody is in a really difficult financial position. Are any of you guys got financial problems, right? Everyone's got financial problems, right? So let's say you've got financial problems. You might think, oh, I don't have any time to learn because I need to be working. Do you know what I mean? I need to be working. I don't have any time to read a book about how to improve my financial situation. But actually, let's say financial success is here, right? And the way that you're working really hard, but you're going like this. Right, it's going to take you a long time to reach financial success because you're going at the wrong angle. But if you were to just read a book, it might turn you like that and you'd achieve it a lot quicker, right? So like learning is an emergency strategy, right? For solving any problem and improving anything, right? And a really big mistake that I made was that I just stopped learning. So the fifth and final biggest mistake that I've learned from the Sam of Somalia channel is that you need to be consistent. Like, really, consistency is a superpower for achieving anything, right? Like language learning is obviously my field, and like the students who can learn 3 words a day will succeed to such a higher level than people who will learn, you know, 10, 20 words in one day. Do you know what I mean? Like, they will work intensively for a short amount of time, but the people who are consistent will rack up so much more over that long amount of time. And this is really particular to YouTube as well, right? Like, YouTube will reward you for uploading regularly. So, you know, so that's a bit YouTube specific, but like it applies to most things in our lives. So consistency is something that, you know, consistency is something that you really, really need to act upon, and it's a really big mistake that I made with the Sam of Somalia channel before. You know, inshallah, we're not making that mistake now. We've come back with a vengeance, and inshallah, we're doing things right this time. Not that we did loads of things wrong last time. Do you know what I mean? It was absolutely the right decision for me to take a break from this channel before. But I thought, just for the young YouTubers out there, or for those of you who are thinking of starting a channel, or for those of you who are just interested to know what on earth I learned from the whole thing, just wanted to share with you 5 things that I learned, 5 big mistakes that I made on the Sam of Somalia channel, and also a little bit about how I learned from them. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't you dare forget to like and share it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. See you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.